Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, so Clifford, thank you very much for that lengthy explanation or the brief of mine. So, but basically what I'm here today is to take you through a special role that I'm interested about. This is my role as the training and development manager or the learning and development manager, where are we ready to take the control or manage and engage the modern learner? So why this topic is important to us today, and when this invitation came to me, I was just thinking how relevant it is to me. So I found this particular Che intervention in developing and unleashing the potential of people, their outdoor training concept, how that we can bring it to the organization to develop our talent and to develop our leadership competencies. So my CEO, when I went to NDB, when I'm asking about experiential learning, my CEO had a problem or a question. And that question is very logical. He asked from me, Dilshan, can you bring results of taking them to outbound training? And I was just thinking, do I have a measure to tell him that this is bringing result? But in my experience and in my understanding, I believe that it can definitely bring results. So my presentation will take you through the modern learner concept and how this type of training model or experiential learning would bring results to the organization. So the person who is in this picture is me or it's you. So there will be always a gap exist in the market based on the existing and the future skill, or we could say the ask, attitude, skills, and the knowledge. There will be always a gap between the market for existing ask and for the future ask. Why is that? This is what we discussed today. It's because the world is VUCA. Things are changing. The skill set that you have today is expired by tomorrow. And the technology that come to you today, it's stale tomorrow. And the best example for VUCA is what has happened on 21st April. We didn't know whether to come to work or not. We didn't know whether to open our business or not, because Sri Lanka totally went vulnerable, volatile, uncertain, with ambiguity. We were lost in that. So world is VUCA. When the world is VUCA, business goals are changing. Competency sets of us is going to change. So therefore, the individual's performance or individual's potential is changed, or individuals' required competencies are getting changed. Therefore, every time this gap exists, and the only fix to that is development and training. So if your CEO or if your management asks you, is HR learning and development is a key function? Yes, it is. It is a strategic function. So because of this, identifying a trainer or your training manager is key to your organization. Reason, if you want to bring business results, your trainer, identified trainer or the training manager or the L&D head is going to play a vital role. He should understand the VUCA, he should understand the business goals, and it should link with the results. So therefore, don't worry. Dilshan was so worried when you did your presentation about how the AI is going to take us over, but I'm well secured in this process for next 10 years, so my and yours job will be secured in this industry 4.0, your job is secured, so don't worry. Because if you're having that brain, understanding the business, you will secure in this industry as a HR or HR L&D specialist. So this is I captured from Deloitte. Since Deloitte, this is very much updated information or research that they are bringing up, how the organizational L&D principles are changing. So learning solutions need to be business based on the business needs. So basically, you all have to identify whether your learning solution or the training that you are bringing in, whether it's relevant to your business. So if you take a budget, you have about good 15 million budget, maybe average, to each good corporate in the country. And is it your KPI is to spend it? Or is it your KPI to give the proper result to next time to increase the budget and give quality training to staff? So you have to think whether the business needs are met with your training solutions that you are bringing up. Then you have to support the transfer of learning back to the business. After putting your training, putting your talent or your staff members to 8-hour training, what's the measurement that you have after 8 hours the behavior got changed and they are delivering results? So you have to think of that. Next, learning solutions are designed with the future mind. So if you are doing a competency development to your staff, you have to think of the future, whether it's going to work and whether in the future this competency is required to your organization. So you should have a competency framework identified to your company. So customized to population and individuals. It's no more that identifying, delivering a program just because there's a soft skill or a technical program to be delivered. It has to be customized to that individual. So how to customize is what we're going to now think of, and also I'm going to tell you the solution, what to be and how to make it customized and make it for the individual. The next is the business leader. Now, the first question from as a L&D manager or HR head, the CEO or the board will ask, what's your business understanding? Quite logical. If you understand your business, it's easy for you to bring a solution for your company based on training or a competency development. The best thing, if you are not, everyone will be not experts in the business or the industry that you are working for, that's fine. But you have to bring the business leaders to participate in designing your programs. It makes you success because they are getting engaged in your designing part of the training. So it's easy for you to bring the result when your business leaders are sitting with you to design your programs. And then meet the required standard and the benchmarks, evaluations, whether it's done. So everyone is talking about this theory about which we call the Kirkpatrick. So how many of you all, after 3 months, posting a kind of an evaluation to your participants in the training and asking from the heads whether the behaviors got changed? Very rarely, because we think it's just a tick mark for us to get into our numbers. End of the year, we have delivered about 60,000 training hours, and our soft skills and the particular technical trainings are covered, so we are done. But end of the day, the results is not measured. So it is always important us to see whether the benchmark evaluations are given. And then the learning solution achieve what they actually said to do. You do a program and you expect some result to come. You go to an outbound training, and you expect your sales to boost. Whether that outdoor training or that activity-based training has designed in such a way to develop or deliver that objective is what you have to look into. Then finally, design as a connected, integrated part of development journey. It's not one-day training, 8 hours training that we are thinking of. It has to be a continuous journey. Each individual has to take through this journey for a longer time, because behaviors and competencies cannot deliver or produce within overnight or 8 hours training. It's a myth. So this is where the organizational L&D principles are changing, and this is why the L&D cannot be replaced by an outsource or AI, because AI could give statistics. There should be a person who can be strategic and have to look at the statistics and provide results by having a proper plan. Having said that, I'm taking you through the current workforce, how we distributed, so-called the multi-generational workforce. I don't have to tell who is the generalist, baby boomers, X and Y, and the millennials and Gen Z. So you all know who they are and their behaviors too. But if you take 2010, 36% of population of the workforce was represented by millennials. And Generation Z was not seen in that much there. If you take 2015, baby boomers and traditionalists got reduced, and 1% of Zers have come into the play. And then almost about 50% represent the Generation Y, the millennials. And if you take 2020, this is how the workforce has been transformed. Now what has happened, 60% of your current workforce is represented by the millennials, who are called the post-millennials, and the Generation Zers. Is your challenge is still same, which you had in 2010, or is it different? You must have seen difference. Why? There is less loyalty. After 5, there is no one coming to work. No one will stay at work. Next day morning, you never know whether the person will return to work or not. And the person who is coming to you is not the person like you. You have to tell him, coach him, but still they've never learned, right? And they are not serious about what they are doing. But that's the reality. So it is not a problem with that person or the individual. That's the problem with that generation, right? So where I'm going to take you to now is to introduce you the modern learner, right? This modern learner concept is little straightforward. We can say that it's modernist technology. It's more than the technology. So I'm going to bring you a little video, a small video clip, for you to go through it and have a little discussion with your partner and see how you actually manage this type of a person. Just go through. So ladies and gentlemen, so until the video comes, what has happened with Generation Z and the post-millennials is, organizations have taken them into the workforce without having a proper understanding of their profiles. And they expect them to do the same job that their superiors did, which is going to be a miracle to happen if we just put them into workforce and expecting them to show results. Because their value set is totally different, their understanding of work is totally different, and their beliefs and their motives are not that great what we expect. But they are a superb generation, right? So I'm going to show you in this video is also about a kind of an interview that the Generation Z, or let's say the post-millennial, who is going through with a baby boomer or a generation traditionalist, that we would say, a little older kind of a superior. So this will give you a proper understanding what is going wrong and what is going right in a time of a managing of a millennial. Are we ready? Okay.
Amy, it says you are trained in technology. That's very good. Are you adept at Excel?
No.
PowerPoint?
No.
Publisher?
Not really.
Exactly in what area of technology are you proficient?
Snapchat, Pinterest, Instagram, Vine, Twitter. You know, the big ones.
I'm surprised you didn't say Facebook.
That's for old people, like my parents. That's funny.
Well, Amy, when you're working for me, you have to have those kind of research skills, because I'll send you things for you to comb through and get the answers and send them to me. So for that, you got to be really good at technology.
For stuff like that, no problem. I'll just ask Siri.
You'll just ask Siri?
You know, Siri tell me this, Siri find me that. We're all good at getting you the answers.
Tell Siri I want you ready to go at 8 sharp each and every morning.
I don't understand.
What don't you understand?
What you just said.
You don't understand be ready to go?
No. You said 8, right?
Yes.
8 like In the morning, 8?
Yes, in the morning.
Yeah, that kind of doesn't work for me. Who gets up at 8?
I do.
I Skype with my French boyfriend in Paris until like 3 in the morning. I don't even get to Starbucks until like 10, where I order my grande chai tea latte, 3 pump skim milk, light water, 2% foam, extra hot but not too hot. So if it's okay, I work best in the morning at 10:45.
Wow. Amy, I don't think we're going to be a good fit.
Why are you so negative? I can sense your hostilities, and right now I am not feeling very safe. I've been here for over 5 minutes, and the only nice thing you have said to me was nice resume, which I typed all night for this meeting with you. You've given me no guidance, no validation, no encouragement, no supervision. Is there an HR director somewhere?
HR director?
Yes, I need to speak to someone. I may have to take off today as a mental health day.
Take the day off. Amy, look at me. You don't work here.
Are you firing me?
Okay, yes.
So, ladies and gentlemen, have you all met that type of employees in your organization? Raise your hand if you have met them. Yes, almost. In my organization also, I have met them. And what do you think? Is it a problem of the individual, or is it something else? Okay, I'll give you about 30 seconds to discuss with your partner for that, because that's important for us to keep this in mind, because I'm going to give you 3 actions that you should go and implement in your workplace to manage them. So time is on, 30 seconds. Can you pass on a mic to get one feedback? What do you do with them if you find that type of an employee? Chair Management, I have requested for 5 gifts, and I would like you to dedicate 1 gift for the person who is raising his voice and explaining this fact to us. Time is on. Okay, right. Can someone raise your hand and tell how you manage this type of a individual? Okay, sir, can you pass on the mic, please?
So in the video you just showed, what really matters is whether the work gets done or not. We don't really bother whether a person comes to office or not. We are only worried about the outcomes. So work from home, work at any time you want to. We are not really worried about 8:30, 5:30. What we are more worried about is the quality of the outcome. How you get it is up to you.
Leadership.
So give flexibility.
Give a good hand, please. Okay, so I value your answer. That's exactly what it is. But as a country, are we ready to take up this modern learner is the problem that we have to find out and have to think of. But I'm going to give you 3 important things that you should do at your work. One is engage with the person. Their engagement is totally technological, with their phones, with their groups, not interaction having with you. So you have to engage with them, technologically and physically, both. Time to time, talk to him and see whether he's okay. That's really important. Engage. And then they need the feedback. You have to tell them what they are good at. And it has to be a constructive feedback. That is where what we are going wrong. Constructive is you have to talk about their strengths, your good aspects, and what to develop, and what can do differently to get them into the next level, right? So that is feedback. And always talk to them of the next step. Without knowing the next step, they will not move anywhere. That's their reality. You fire them, they go up. And they tomorrow will come and ask, boss, I want to become a manager. How long it will take? That's their expectation. So tell them about the next step. That's important. So more than that, you have to understand the profile of this type of a person. This modern learner is overwhelmed and distracted. Why I say so? In a working week, everyone in that modern learner and us both all are to say same in this manner. 33% we are in meetings, 25% on email, and again 5% we interrupted with our day-to-day work. And we have only 20 minutes, 1% in a week, we can spend the time for development. That's the reality. And we get distracted in every 5 minutes. From the morning, I can't stay as a trainer and also a training manager, I can't stay in one place most of the time. So I walk around this room many times in the day. I have seen a lot of people, or a lot of ladies and gentlemen have very much involved with their office work today because mobile phones has the email access. So you are working today, even you are here, you work today, right? You reply to your emails and check your not the Facebook, actually the WhatsApp, any message, interesting messages has come, right? So we are distracted every 5 minutes. So what has happened there, with a modern learner, no one is watching a video more than 4 minutes time. And average person spends 2 hours online or in the smartphone for a day. And check their phone 10 times an hour. You never know whether something has come up or not, but you just unlock it and see, is there something? Actually not. No one has remembered you, but you just unlock. That's the reality. That's the modern learner. And 41% of productive time learners spent on social collaborations. Hi, sending a message, heart, hi, thumbs up, thumbs down. Those things happen entire in the day. And sometimes, most of the time, 2/3 of knowledge workers complains that we don't have time to work because we are so distracted with our social and the collaborations. In terms of keenness of learning, 94% of employees would stay at the company if the company is overlooking their development. If you are staying there for 2 years, company has not sent you for any training and or spend the time for development, you will not stay there for all, right? And 7 seconds to decide if a page content or a program is going to help them or not. It's only 7 seconds they decide. 96% of people turn to their phones and search for the answer. If you bring people for trainings and give them the obvious stuff, it's a time waste and a total training budget under, let's say, a waste. So you put obvious things into the training. Where the Google gives every knowledge. You ask for management, leadership, it's there in Google. And give them some competency, some learning which is they appreciate about. That's why someone says, dull, only lecture, nothing happened today, right? People won't appreciate it. And 70% of users will leave your classroom emotionally or physically if that content is not relevant to them. Emotionally, they switch off. If the content is not there to them or that program won't deliver a good content or the value or the required competency, they switch off. 70%. So classroom training for 8 hours won't help the organization to change the behavior of the person. Now it's a fact. Now I'm going to give you a kind of another challenge. I think Shehan has told in the morning that we are working on with, how many, Shehan? 9? Che is working on with 9 different adventure experts in the country. An exciting gift is there for the individual who is recalling those 9. Can raise your hand? All 9? An exciting gift. I think Che is giving about 500,000 worth valued adventure packs today. One of that will go to you as well. 9, altogether 9, if you can recall. Put your hands up. Count down. 3, 2, 1, gone. This is the reality. Welcome to modern learning. Modern learner. And the 8 hours of total retention, We spent about 6 hours now in this training, and this is what we can't do because this human brain, we are totally distracted. We can't keep those stuff in our mind for so long. It's not having that retention period or retention time span that we had or our older generation had, right? So Edgar Dale's code of experience, learning and development managers, L&D heads, specialists, still valid. Lecture and reading type of trainings will only have 5 to 10% of content in the brain after 24 hours in the training. After 24 hours, you set to a training or lead or a kind of a lecture type, reading type of a training, a traditional classroom training, only 5 to 10% will have in the mind. That's the reality. So after you spend about 30 million budget and hit all your training numbers during the year, how much of results that you have created? CEOs understand this. That's why they say it's not relevant. So you have to be a strategic L&D specialist to make it a reality by understanding this. So if you want to bring some sort of a retention, then you have to bring 20 to 30% of audio and type of demonstration type of learning into your training. And if you want to make it much more impactful, you have to bring about 50%, you have to bring about group discussions and simulations, activity-based learning, where it will bring at least about 50% of retention of them. And if you want to make them 75% at least retention of their competency or the training or the kind of skill development that you did, put them into on-the-job training, practice by doing, give them that experiential learning. And if you want to make them masters, let them go and train others. Train them and ask them to go and train others, right? You give them enough training and ask them to sit in the training and learn the content and do activity-based and everything, and go and ask them to teach the others, and then they will master that competency, right? So Edgar Dale's code of experience still valid after 4 decades, or rather 5 decades, right? So learning model of a modern learner, this is what you have to twist now. This is the practical part of it. 70% of your trainings, build it with on-the-job learning and experiential learning, simulations, apprenticeships, activity-based learning. Give them some real learning atmosphere where they do practical work and learn something. So for that, your trainers has to be so smart. Your training solution provider has to be so smart, and you have to be so smart as a L&D specialist. And 20% of learning through collaboration. Give them coaching, ask them to go and acting roles, and ask them to do shadowing, mentoring, role modeling, social learning, where you post certain small clips into the social media, your WhatsApp groups or whatever, for them to collaborate learning, and ask them to give feedbacks and give them some facilitate your organization to give them some kind of a collaborative learning like this nature. And try to bring down the formal classroom training and traditional learning at least to 10%, because 7-20-10 rule applies to modern learners than the generations before now, right? So 70-20-10% is what your training calendar should have, right? So this is what the success that as an organization that we have got, as a L&D manager that we believed, and my CEO and my leaders believe, bring experiential learning. All our trainings, we specifically decided as a policy 70-30. 70-30 is 70 experiential learning, 30% of classroom trainings and knowledge building, right? So what you can do differently in your organizations, bring micro-learning solutions. What is micro-learning solution? Give a product update or a product knowledge. Put it into a short video clip of 4 minutes and pass it in the social media. That is called a bite-sized learning, micro-learning. And let them to come back and for the answers. Have a helpline, phone line there. So nowadays in this VUCA world, people don't have time to spend 8 hours and 16 hours in training rooms. That is the reality. So we should understand the duty of a learning and development manager is to understand the business and the practicality of it. So that is why most of the organizations, HR is not a key function. But for us, I believe, as a L&D enthusiastic, I believe L&D is the heart of the organization. So we deliver it with passion, enable micro-learning, bite-sized learning, clip learning, flip learning, quick e-learning models with interaction, voice, and all aspects. It's not just presentations that we are talking about. You can learn a lot when you just Google just for micro-learning. It says all about micro-learning. Then bring micro-learning while they need in the phone, when they are in the evening, when they are at their desk, during their tea breaks, and on their way as well. Micro bite-sized learning. A specific multinational in Sri Lanka now has started delivering trainings during the lunch hour, collaborative learnings, only for half an hour to 45 minutes after lunch, bite-sized learning, right? So there are so many things happening. In our case, we have started something called Power Talk, where 45 minutes learning, a learning forum, and an open discussion to quickly understand what's happening in the market and the business, right? Then engagement learning. We need engagement learning with people. So this new generation, they are disengaged totally with the workplace, psychologically, morally, and physically, they are totally disengaged. Put them into a scenario where they can learn from each other. Every learning activity has to be a collaborative learning. So they start learning from each other. They don't ask from the boss, but they ask from their colleague, right? So understand the psychology of this modern learner, Zers, especially the post-millennial, right? Give them the engagement learning. And also bring them some excitement with theme-based learning. This is the world that they are living in. Fantasies, marvels. They are living in the world where we call the fantasies. Their psychology is that. They have played games in their computers or the phone for about like 10, 15 years, and they come to work with those fantasies. They want that in real, so give them that excitement, theme-based trainings. We have done a lot. We started something called Marvel Challenge with the real characters of Marvels. And we started something called the Battlefield, where the outdoor training was totally redefined as battlefield. Actually, they have a mission to win, end of the day. So bring that excitement into the theme-based learning. And then, this is important. Everyone is talking about gamification. How many Sri Lankan corporates have already started gamification? It's a problem that we have. Why the gamification is not there yet? Because it's costly. This is what we think, but it's not the reality. So I want you to take your phone out and type Kahoot IT in Google and go to that. Keep it ready. Can I have the sound, please? Okay. Can you show me your screen, please? Kahoot IT. It has to be that. Can you show it, Jay? To the other crowd also? Okay. That's the screen. It has a game pin to be entered. Now, ladies and gentlemen, you get a game pin here, 654707. Enter the game code, get into the screen, put a nickname, and be ready. I have got 6 players, 8 players, 9. May I have the sound, please? 20, 23, all 350. You can come in. Now let's see how modern you are. If your phone connection is slow, it's not a problem that I can do. I mean, I can't handle it basically, right? If your phone connection is having a problem, but you all can enter it. So 86 players, we still have opportunity. 91 players, 93, 4, 5, okay. Goes up to 100, we can go up to 200. Try out. So I'm going to get the first 200 players. Or if you want me to stay, I can stay up till 300 all come in, but I think Share Management will not allow me to do that because of the time. Right. 104, 39, 40. Okay, I'm going to stop it by first 150. You can still be there, right? It's on. 150 uploaded. Let me start it. You will get an answer in colors. Your touchpad, your phone is going to be a touchpad. Just put on the color code for the right answer. VUCA stands for 17 seconds, 16 seconds. What is VUCA stand for? Give your answers. $110, 20. Okay, 29 gave right answers. So it's volatile, uncertain, complexity, and ambiguity. Hasi, where can you? Oh, really? Give him a great hand. The fastest finger in Hasi. GDS, Ruan, Ami, and Mandy. You are the 5 winners for the first question, and you can keep on trying because the fastest finger comes up in the score. Question number 2. Generation, space, will compromise 60% of the workforce in 2020. What are the 2 generations? Five seconds to go. 4, 3, 2, 1. Time's up. 81 gave right answers. That is Y and Z. Hasi is still leading the lot of 5 key fast fingers. Hasi, GDS, De Silva, Kavindi has come in, and Ami has come in. Okay, let's go to question number 3. The modern learner is overwhelmed and distracted. Thus, the attention span is low. Is it true or false? $113 right answers. Let me check who is the winner. Hasi is still leading the board. My God, okay, great. A superb learner. Hasi, GDS, Sarah has come in. And who is this? BIG. Okay. Sam, I can't read the name. Okay, let me take you to the 4th question. Question number 4. Only 5 to 10% of content is lasting in the lecture or reading type of learning. This was found in which model? $100 answers coming in. Six seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and time's up. 86 given right answer. Edgar Dale's cone of experience. Let me check. Oh, Hasi still leading the board. Second place, GDS. And there's a fire. Who is this? BIGKHUNA. How can I spell it? Big. Big Ahuna. Right, good. So he's in fire, and Kavindi and Asha is in. So, dear friends, the last question. Everything decides here. Question number 5. Micro-learning, engagement learning are the 2 or 4 techniques to engage and manage modern learner. What are the other 2? $108 correct answers, theme-based learning and gamification. So here comes the result. Hasi leading the board with First, as the first place, give him a good hand. GDS, may I see GDS, please? I can't see GDS. GDS is as the second place, and Big Kahuna is at the third place. Give a good hand, please. Right. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Modern Learning, and welcome to the gamification and engagement learning with excitement. So, this is what we want to create in the learning organizations with this new generation. May I get the main presentation, please? So, how do you all feel about it? Huh? That's good? Interesting. Very good. Right. So, I think there is nothing I believe than this. This I found in Spartans. It's a very ancient saying, and it was actually said by the Chinese, and I couldn't find who is the real author of this. But the more you sweat in training, less you bleed in battle. This is what I believe as the training enthusiasts, and I hope that you all also should practice this. Thank you very much.